I was just chilling out here on the 24/7 live stream in the Locker Gnome YouTube channel. Live.perillo.com is where you can watch 24/7. I may or may not be here, but even if I'm not, other people may be doing things, geeky things, like playing video games or working on the desktop. You can join us if you want. If you're, into hanging out with other geeks online. Maybe you're not. Maybe you don't like geeky, nerdy things. So I was having discussions about my home networking changes, getting gigabit Ethernet, and Eric jumps in. He just became a member of the YouTube channel, and thank you for that, Eric. But before then, he was saying, or asking a question, whether or not I was pumped, to use his word, for the S23 Ultra. And I started to explain and realized, I should record this, if only because other people might be interested in these thoughts. I have been in Samsung's camp since the S21 Ultra, and I moved from the Pixel 4 XL to the S21 Ultra because the 4 XL just died. The battery just gave up. And I wasn't very happy with what Google was doing, specifically with the Pixel 5 at the time. I felt it was more of a downgrade, if not a side grade. So I was like, well, okay, what am I going to do? And I'm very happy I moved to Samsung's ecosystem, if you will, because it very much is. Because I wasn't very happy with what Google did with its UI changes in and around the Pixel 6, and certainly have rolled forward with Android. I was much happier with what Samsung had done with One UI, specifically with the S21 Ultra. And if you're basing your idea of Samsung on an experience that predates One UI, pre-S22 Ultra, let's say, you're missing out. Big time. And it's not just about one component. It's about everything working together. It's, as far as I'm concerned, best-in-class mobile experience. It's hard to compare apples to non-apples, but I'm going to do it anyway. I have not been happy with iOS, and I'm using an iPhone right now. This is an iPhone that is connected by way of continuity camera to my Mac desktop. So I'm using the iPhone, but I'm not looking at the screen. I'm not wanting to interact with it other than like moving my head. So I'll use it for its strengths, video, which we'll come back to that. So am I jazzed for the S23? I was reluctant initially with the S21. Was happy enough that I upgraded to the S22 Ultra. Great upgrade program for that. And the S22 Ultra has been a champ. I have little to no complaints about what this experience has been. Stem to stern. There are times that certainly I do run into issues. There are certain problems that I think are potentially needing to be patched by Samsung. But in terms of a day-to-day experience, whether I'm taking pictures, using social media, uploading, downloading, transcoding, whatever, it's no slouch. It's been powerful enough that it's not that I'm not looking forward to the S23 Ultra upgrade, which, yes, I've pre-ordered. Phantom Black, it should get here as soon as possible, and I'll be unboxing it live in this YouTube channel, certainly. If someone else, I'm going to make an invitation. If somebody else gets theirs before I get mine, you're welcome to join the live stream and unbox it together, and I'll have to live vicariously. Unbox it here in the live stream in this channel. Why not? Whatever, even if it's not a Samsung, if it's a new device that everyone's talking about, that might be something we'll be able to experiment with the Locker Gnome YouTube channel here. So it's not that I'm not looking forward to it, because I am. It's just that I'm also not really feeling the pinch being on an S22 Ultra. So what I'm saying is, when the S23 comes in, I know there will be differences. So it will effectively be taking what I feel is already a pretty solid experience, really good. I'm not going to give it a grade or a letter, saying, oh, it's this or it's that. But the experience itself has not caused me to really start looking beyond what Samsung has to offer. I don't have unlimited budget. I don't get review units, or at least not that often, so I don't have the pleasure of using a variety of devices like most. I have to figure out where the device works in my ecosystem, in my home, my ecosystem. So when the S23 comes in, I'm jazzed because I know the upgrades are going to be theoretically noticeable. And when I say theoretically, is because when they write on paper, okay, this spec has changed, this spec has changed, this spec has changed. There are a few that I believe are going to make an impact. A small impact, but a large impact nonetheless. So I'm happy. It's going to take my happiness with the S22 Ultra and kick it up a notch. So that's exciting. I'm not so disappointed. I'm not ready to leap away. I could use this indefinitely and still be satisfied. So then why upgrade, you might ask? Well, number one, it's a primary device. I use it all. It's like one of my main computers. This right here. This is a computer. It is absolutely a PC. It's very personal. It's always on me. I use it everywhere for darn near everything you can possibly think of. Not everything in an exact replacement of what a desktop or a laptop might be able to take care of. But certainly for workaday stuff. UFS 4.0. So there's been an upgrade from, I believe, 3.1 for file storage to a 4.0, at least on most of the devices in the new Samsung range, or the device that I picked up. I'm getting a 512 gig that I got. It was a free bump from a 256 a gig unit, and that has UFS 4.0 as well. So doubling the sequential write and read speeds. That is important, not just for launch time, not just for zipping in and around, going from one app to another, but certainly helping battery life as well, being more efficient. Battery life was not really something that crunched for me. I'm typically always around a cord or a cable. I'm able to get through the average day and still have plenty to spare as far as battery life goes. So that wasn't as interesting to me. The screen really isn't changing all that much, if at all, apart from I'm not a fan of the curved edges. And so the fact that they flattened them out by like 30%, I feel is going to be palpable. I feel like that is something that I will appreciate, not being a curved edge kind of guy. The speed. The bump in speed should also be noticeable. But remember, I'm the kind of guy who notices when a frame drops or a jittery scroll. The S22 Ultra, for the most part, has been one of the more smoother experiences I've had. It's not the perfect smooth-ish-esque experience out there. There are definitely snags. But if they can take what is good and make it better, who am I to argue? So I know a faster processor is going to help, faster GPU is going to help, faster storage is going to help, and it's going to add up because it's those small things that ultimately matter. So where most people will complain and say, it's just incremental. Everything is incremental. Like if you don't want to live incrementally, don't upgrade every year. Upgrade every 3, 4, 5 years. I couldn't do it. It just wouldn't. It's not. That's a cycle that's not interesting for me. If only because even though Samsung didn't really have a compelling upgrade this year in terms of the trade-in value, a lot of people have been complaining about that. I'm like, well, I feel I got that much worth out of the device, what I paid for, and what it's worth now compared to the upgrade that I'm getting. I feel I can get that much value out of those devices over the course of a year. So none of that, or what might concern other people hasn't been a concern to me. What other people might be looking forward to may be different because of the things that I'm looking forward to. Then, of course, there's the camera bump, the video experience. And I've seen a couple demonstrations at a distance, and people have said that the iPhone is all about the video. Well, you get the iPhone for the video. Yes, for sure. But in the demos I've seen with the Samsung camera, especially with their new stabilization system, from 8K on down, it can hold its own. Big time. Perfect? No. Amazing? No. Would I have wanted more for the selfie cam? For sure. A downgrade? I don't know. But I've always felt that they didn't take the selfie cam far enough. So as long as the photos themselves are better and the videos themselves are better, that's a huge win. I am looking forward to seeing if the color discrepancies that I've had with the photos that I've taken, not that they've been horrible, but if they can be improved, awesome. And it seems at a distance, they will be improved. Low light being improved, speed, being improved. The discussion of shutter lag, could that be improved? You can actually toggle that. If you prefer shutter lag, or I should say shutter speed over quality, that's something you can toggle in a good lock module. Let me go ahead and let's run stop here. If you're not familiar with Good Lock, it's a free app that I do believe is released by Samsung themselves, although unofficially. It's like a tweak UI, if you remember that from the Windows days. A tweak UI for Samsung, the Samsung devices. And so you can install these modules. And one of them is Camera Assistant. And in Camera Assistant, you can absolutely optimize for a faster shutter speed. But that could potentially, depending on your what's going on, that could potentially diminish the quality of the photo. So there's always going to be a trade-off, but they at least give you that option. So if you're not familiar with Good Lock, you should be. And if you always wanted to have the way to tweak your Android device, then if you're not on a Samsung, you should be, because the Good Lock modules they go far above the expectations of an Android experience and allow you to better control that experience for you. A Good Lock is critical for me because that's how I tweak so many things, including the launcher. I've got a flow. I've got a way that I enjoy using things, and Samsung has been, since the S21 Ultra experience, has been absolutely fantastic. Or fantastic enough that I haven't gone looking elsewhere. I'm still in play, but I'm very much looking forward to the S23 Ultra. I'll be covering the unboxing live here on YouTube. The initial impressions, certainly. Photo comparisons, absolutely. And then, of course, an ultimate review of the S23 Ultra coming from this perspective. And again, I want to do it live. I want to do it where people are playing video games or doing various things, because I feel that just no one else is doing this. Look at every other person that's doing videos and talking about this stuff. Nobody else is doing it like this. I want to do it like this, and I want to do it with you. So feel free to join. You can join in chat live, of course, naturally, or you can join as a participant, because it's always going to be different depending on where you look. During the course of recording, we actually got a super chat from VT. Only I'm upgrading S23 Ultra from my S22 Ultra. Is my current plan is worth 140 down to 117, 150 early upgrade fee. So it's a cost differential as far as VT is concerned. So that's a big savings. If that's the only reason why, if I'm reading that right, the reason that you're upgrading, it's a good reason to upgrade. You wouldn't want to spend more than you could get out of that device. It's a big reason. Thank you, by the way, for the super chat. I really do appreciate it. I think that's really, to answer the question that you posed there, Eric, I am looking forward to it. Those are the reasons I am looking forward to it. Taking something that I've liked and make it even better, I'm all in. Not everybody thinks the same way. I wouldn't say I'm a Samsung fan any more than I'm an anything fan. I'm a fan of good experiences, and Samsung, as far as I've experienced, has raised the bar that unfortunately not enough people have seen. Seriously, because they're basing their ideas of what it is on old experiences, and that's not. I don't think that's fair. You got to experience it. You got to dive in. You got to go directly in, and use it yourself if you have an opportunity. But I'm in. I'm excited. I'm chomping at the bit. I want it yesterday, but I'm also aware that I'm not sure how well those improvements are going to be seen, or how quickly they're going to melt away, because this is already a really good experience. So thank you for asking the question.